How'd you like it?
Holy Jesus.
I love these
I don't know
veggies.
what the hell this is, but it's amazing.
I mean,
Wow.
there'd be ways you could make this a little healthier. I guess you could use like turkey or chicken ground up, or I mean, but this has got to be a cow that your parents paid for, right? The way I took it on the package, because that's how my parents will, and they get their cow from somebody they know. So, like, yeah, okay, there's fat, but you need fat in your body to absorb your vitamins, and your brain needs fat to cover, because that's how MS starts, is like the first thing it does is it eats the fat off your nerves. It's fatty tissue it goes out. So the more of it I got going through my body, the better off.
Yeah. I agree.
You just have to be careful how you cook your food. There's a lot of it. Because some food, people always say, oh, raw everything, but when it comes to veggies, sometimes raw ain't. You have to cook some vegetables a certain way to a certain point for you to even get the nutrients out of it.
I gotta say, man.
Very good. I've been looking forward to this meal all since yesterday.
This kind of work should be rewarded with very good positive vibes in life.
You know, the only thing I didn't have already was the pans. And my mom just brought me one when she got off of work. Well, she brought me a 6-pack. Which is perfect because, like I said, I froze that other half, so we'll be able to eat that another day. Mooney, no. If they ever get in your face while you're eating or whatever, here's this. You can spray. It's just water.
Cool.
Do not be afraid. I don't usually spray them right in the face,
Right.
but I'll go that fight. Somewhere where they can feel it.
It's probably a pretty good training tool for cats, at least. Dogs a little bit, at least.
I can get Benny with it sometimes, but
Yeah.
for the most part, except for when he begs for food, he's a pretty good dog.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know what's funny? Like sometimes when you have like healthier foods, you can eat more. Like I don't know if that makes sense or not, but like, there's like when you eat like out to eat or something, you get full super fast, and then you just feel gross. Hey, we could go for a walk. We could take the dogs for a walk.
Yeah.
That'd be
I'd
awesome.
be totally up for that.
Yeah. We gotta let our food settle for a few before we do that,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I really do think that'd be fun to do. We're gonna go this way though. I don't want to go that way.
We need to check out the track or something too.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Because there doesn't seem to be that many people at all around, like kind of the outside of the track, so like it's not crowded or anything. Like it's hard for me to be around other people right now, especially if I'm in this.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, we can go wherever. Just go for a walk or go. If you want to go that way, that's fine. I'm not really always. I'm a social person, but I'm definitely just as happy like being like this or by myself or. Not that like I don't like to be around people, but I don't have to be surrounded by people to make my life secure.
Right.
Actually, I think it's almost better.
Well, doesn't it seem like it gets overwhelming though? Like just when you're especially doing something that like not everyone, you can't be your true self around them because like.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that, and it's not necessarily there's anything wrong with it, it's just like, there's parts of yourself that you keep to yourself, or the people that you trust, because like, if a lot of people are like new things like smoking weed or whatever, they might look at me like a different person when they don't even really see like that I don't do anything any different than any other person. I just smoke weed. I don't even have a car, so it's not like I'm smoking a bunch of weed and driving around. Like, I just smoke weed and sit in my house and fucking cook food that actually makes me feel better. I bet tomorrow you'll have a better stomach feeling than you really did like yesterday or something.
I think it'll be interesting.
Like
20 minutes later.
Feels better
Oh,
with
I
food.
feel so horrible.
I know. That would suck. Like we got food poisoning.
I think you did something. There's always possibility, and I would never hold anything against anybody. It was like, it happened 3 times in a row. Like, okay, Nicole, there's it.
Yeah, I don't know though. At that point, would I be more worried that this person really can't cook, or are they trying to poison me?
No.
It's kind of a hard line, you know. Because it's kind of like, there was a family, not that far ago back, but it's been a few years, that the mom and not the oldest daughter, the second oldest daughter was slowly killing off the family with antifreeze poisoning.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, if this has any antifreeze in this, it tastes delicious.
well, you can't actually taste antifreeze, and that's why like a lot of people find, and
it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks green and kind of like Mountain Dew.
there's no flavor. It's really sweet, so you can actually mask it. And this is not like a known thing. Like not that you would know, but I mean, it's not like I'm letting out some deep secret by saying that you can mix it in lime jello and it tastes like. Because that's the truth. Like, you can mix it with a sweet enough liquid that a person wouldn't notice.
Well, we don't want to give that kind of information on it.
No, that's a known. That's just known. I mean, like, a lot of people know that. That's why people, and the other thing about poisoning with antifreeze is that the chemical that you actually get poisoned by is something that your body naturally produces in small levels. So it's fairly hard to pinpoint that being. But now, in this day and age, it's a little easier to tell than it would be like in the 80s. Because they know how to look for it more now.
Look for.
I can't remember what the actual, the sugar of some sort, I don't know. There's the chemical in antifreeze that actually kills you. And it's like, you don't need very much for it to be fatal, you know, like, and it's a slow, agonizing, like, it's bad.
So only do that to people that you really, really hate and are horrible people like, say, Hitler. That's the lesson here on April 20th.
Yeah, Hitler's mom should have fed him antifreeze in his first bottle on 420.
Yeah. All you KKK fans, yeah, fuck you.
Eat antifreeze!
Go eat antifreeze, KKK. I'm just kidding, I don't promote that.
It's to the alt-right.
It's
not KKK anymore, they're called alt-right.
Alt-right.
Yeah, and they can all drink fucking poison, or, what would it be, a cocktail, the antifreeze cocktails, we'll serve them. Alt-right, we'll invite them over and serve them all.
No, we won't. She doesn't understand that people can come over now and that please, now that she admitted it.
I don't give a fuck.
Man. No.
I've said some pretty fucked up shit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so if someone's coming for me, they're already coming.
We're going to jail.
Because I've said some pretty fucked up things on my phone and everything.
No.
Yeah, about how I feel about our president.
Oh, man.
What I think that somebody should do to him.
Yeah. These do not necessarily represent us or is meant to cure any disease.
It's just my point of view that I will own, because I'm a Muslim.
Yeah. She prays 6 times a day. It's crazy. It's like the baker's dozen, but it's one more than 5.
And
just to make sure.
I could be in the middle of taking a turd, and if it hits to be that time, I stop and go to the ground. Because that's what, when you're Muslim, it don't matter what you're doing at that moment. You got to stop and pray.
Well, yeah, and if you pray and, something is coming out.
I guess it was godly.
Yeah, it's like a cleanse,
Yeah, it was a godly cleanse. God was helping you out on that one.
Telling you Release the Kraken.
I just would rather be a Muslim than anyone affiliated with our president.
Well, I do think the Muslim, between the three main religions, between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, that Islam is the most united. They pray to the same, direction. They pray all to the east, and
they're very serious about it. You literally, you stop and pray when that time. I mean, that's not a joke. Like, that really is the truth. When that time hits, you stop and pray. I mean, most people plan their life around that, but
now five times a day seems like a lot, but really, how much do you have to be thankful for? But a shit ton of things. So it's perfect to be able to pray 5 times a day. I think that like part of it, they pray at certain points in the day because it represents. Well, yeah, it definitely represents different things.
Yeah, it's like they're spiritual. Obviously, if you pray in the morning before you have your tea or whatever, like I mean, it's not like they just chose that would be a fun time to pray. It's not like, oh, it's 4:20, hey, let's pray. It's like, no, it's just is what it is. I just know we were supposed to be some big giant melting pot.
Big giant melting pot?
America.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's how it started. It just depends on if we need people to be pawns in war or not. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, but let's be like...
We're okay with Mexicans when we're like in a world war or something like that.
Oh yeah, and they're coming to help, and then we're going to deport you right away after.
But I think it was Eisenhower who said, basically started banning them or cracking down on immigration laws and stuff like that. And I think I saw that in Adam Reigns Everything.
I just don't understand how when the first people that came to this land didn't claim ownership to this land, they lived on the land and they were thankful to their many gods for their land, and they treated their land with pride and respect, and the land didn't live for them, they lived for their land. And then you get all these fucks that come over on boats and bring smallpox blankets and go through fucking Indian reservations and steal Pocahontas and so they could show the Queen of England that we could civilize the Indians. I'm sorry, I just get really pissed off.
No, I know. I totally am with you on that.
And not only that, not only did we come over here and steal the land from the Native Americans, we originally tried to make them the slaves, and when they wouldn't do it, they said they refused to be slaves for their own land, and they would fight over that. They made them indentured servants for 7 years, and then you can go, and we'll give you this land, and so here's your little bit of land that now in the 2000s we're going to take from you to drill oil on.
Yeah. Same thing with North Dakota.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I mean.
I couldn't believe
that land was.
I wish they wouldn't have, but
I think it was just getting to the point where it was becoming deadly, and I don't think they felt like they had a choice anymore. I mean, like, they were being killed. They were living through winters.
Well, I don't think the protests and stuff anyone was killed during that.
It was getting pretty deep. It was getting crazy.
Right.
It was bad. It was getting really bad.
What happened was the veterans ended up saying that they were going to have a veterans protest there. They were going to be veterans actually showing up, and then so they stopped the pipeline for temporary, and then they freaking amped it up again. I think
there's the South Dakota, the North Dakota
South Dakota
part.
South Dakota.
They were living on the land.
They were actually living there because they were protesting and all that. And that was freaking awesome. And then they were going to have the veterans. And I wish I could have afforded to go there, but regardless, very shortly afterwards, they stopped the pipeline they shut it down temporarily.
Yeah.
So of course they ramped back up and
then it started leaking.
And then people were just kind of well, screw it. They really, yeah. And I think it's the bankers and stuff like that who are profiting and funding all this. So they're just.
Well, it's the people who
with oil
genuinely actually run our country. Not our congressmen, but the people that pay the congressmen when they run. That's where, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
That's the people that really run our country. And that's why somebody like Bernie Sanders would have made a good president, because all of his donations came $1, $2, $3 at a time from supporters. He didn't have corporate backup in his campaign at all. People.
I never heard it like that, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because you could not find something, at least in as far as what I've seen.
Because he did that. He did that because then he wouldn't owe nobody no favor.
Right.
And that's why he did it. The only people he would owe to is his constituents, the American people that gave to him and made him be able to be the president.
I think.
And that's the people he cared about the whole time.
I think in the next election, even this coming November, I mean.
Well, this November, you better.
I'm not a big believer in the vote and all that stuff. In the local votes and the local senators
the midterm
are very
elections,
important.
The midterm elections matter though, because
yes, they do, definitely.
If to get rid of Trump, we have to have a Republican, or not a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate.
Yes, exactly.
Because those are the votes that truly matter. Who we put into office is who we give our votes to. So, the popular vote when we vote for our president might not mean shit, but the people you voted for 2 years before that matter. Because those are the people who really get the vote.
James Comey said, though, he doesn't necessarily want Congress and that to impeach him. He wants more of the American people to vote him out.
I think we need to, but how we don't get that option, and if we try, we're fucking gonna get treated like we're terrorists.
But I think we gotta get out there and frickin' in the short future, and because I for Obama's thing in 2008, I did a few phone calls down at in Waterloo there. And that was pretty fun.
When you get your license back, I just don't have a car, and I won't have a car. So if you.
But some of that is, I want to do it in a more creative fashion, because the way.
Well, you got to pick the person you want to vote for, and that's what you got to do.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I don't even know if it's so much about that, but the more people voting in theory, the more Democrat and liberals going to tend to be.
Yeah, but you don't even really want liberals. You want Democrats.
Well, wouldn't it be cool if Bernie Sanders is as liberal as you can get?
Yeah, but Bernie Sanders ran as a Democrat.
Right.
Liberals don't.
He was more a socialist.
Right, but when you vote for a liberal, as sad as it is, regardless of why you're voting for a liberal, you're throwing your vote to the Republican, because nobody's going to vote
You're talking
enough.
about Green Party. Right?
No, I'm talking about liberals, Billy. I'm talking about any.
That's not a party.
There's always a liberal or an independent.
Yeah, there's independent.
Right, but you want to actually, what you want to do to get Trump out of office, no matter how you truthfully feel, the only way to get Trump out of office is for us to go Democrat.
Well, yeah, that would be better than what it is now, but if you could get a bunch of.
It's not going to change enough for right now. I'm saying.
If you could get a bunch of Bernie Sanders
you
all
can't,
over the
though.
place, then that would not only be the easy thing to do.
It would be, but at this point, it's too late for us this time.
Well,
for any good to happen, the only thing we can do right now is to get people to go Democrat. There's not enough time. These elections are in November. There's not enough time to get enough of an audience to move everybody enough to vote for whatever, to make it better. There's just not. The only thing we can do to save our skin is right at this moment is to get people to vote for the Democrats. And then after that, when we secure our Democratic House and Senate, then we can feel better and we can say, why don't we really know who we're going to vote for president? Because it's not going to matter who becomes the president if we have a Republican House and a Republican Senate after our 2018 elections, because Trump will be our president again. Because even though these Republicans, I don't support them, I don't support them, I don't support them, I sure as fuck can't vote out a party. So no, like that's. I mean, I'm totally agreeing with you,
I would love for like the Republicans to be like annihilated, like there's no Republicans. However,
well, that's never gonna happen.
Did you know that Republicans were actually more liberal back in like before Abraham Lincoln days and stuff like, and to Abraham Lincoln, they were against slavery, and the Democrats were more for it, from my understanding. And they kind of flip flop. So there's good to have a balance, but there's also good to have a variety. There needs to be a variety of candidates. It can't be a two-party system, because it's a two-party system. It's either Democrat or Republican. You are throwing your vote away, absolutely, if you vote some kind of liberal, independent, Green Party.
Yeah, if you don't vote for anything but Democrat in your midterm elections, you're voting for the Republican. You're voting for Trump. I don't care.
What's that?
If you vote for anything but Democrat in the 2018 midterm elections, you're pretty much
you are voting for Trump.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
exactly.
and you might not
That's very
feel
true.
that.
That's a great
You may
point.
not feel that way. You may feel it very strongly in the Independent Party or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Sad to say, but it's exactly what you're saying. We are a two-party. No matter how many other, but that's where, as a country, the people, like he said, need to vote to get the president out. We need to stand up and say what the fuck happened to why people came over here in the first place.
So basically, a very good point.
The reason why we stole this land from the native people in the first place. Let's go back to that at least. At least, like, all the bloodshed should be worth something. I mean,
I agree with that 100%. If you vote Republican, being that Democrats, if they do get in, they will inevitably impeach Trump. However, I mean,
even if they don't do that,
I think
the 2000
he'll be forced to resign. He's not going to go through this whole process
but
of
it wouldn't matter
impeachment.
Regardless, though,
but
like even if he didn't resign, even if he wasn't impeached, we're gonna have control of the vote, so we will get a Democratic president because all of the Senate.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, but I'm saying, but even if he doesn't get impeached, or even if he doesn't,
he needs to be out of there before 4 years.
But if he's not, it won't matter.
If he's not, then there's something really wrong with the system.
But even if he's not, though,
which I mean, yes, there's plenty of wrong with the system.
Democratic has control. We will get rid of Trump in the next election, regardless. Like, no matter if he can't be. I mean, we can't make the promise that
that'll be done on the first freaking day, from my understanding.
You can't
hopefully
say that. I mean, you don't know that. You can't make a promise that to somebody when you don't know. But I do know that it's common sense that if the Democrat has the House and the Senate and all that, then we have the vote, and then that's gonna get rid of the Republican president. That ain't got no matter to do with
that's
what
not because
president
they're just a different party. It's because he freaking deserves to get impeached. And
I agree. I don't think he should be our president right now. No. I don't think he should have even been allowed to run. He's a fucking sick piece of shit who goes against everything that our country should stand for. Oh, she just.
I thought the cat peed on the thing. I was like, shit.
She just smelling for food. I mean, I do think that we need more variety, and you know what? I voted for Hillary, but I don't even think Hillary was the right person for the job. I really think that if it would have been somebody else besides Hillary, it's possible we would have had a chance to beat Donald Trump. But I think that Hillary.
With Bernie Sanders, he would have whipped him, because there was nothing in Bernie Sanders' background that they could try to stir up controversy just by making up stuff.
I mean, I would have much rather have had Hillary be our president right now, but I don't think there's things about Hillary that I don't think are any better.
Yeah, I didn't even vote for Hillary. I did a write-in for Bernie Sanders. So
I voted for Hillary, but that's because again, I mean.
But I knew my vote didn't even count, because it was just like, it didn't really matter. It did not matter for the sake of.
I don't know.
All this bullshit that happened.
An extreme
with the
fear at that time of losing my health insurance.
Because had this story with Stormy Daniels came out, there's no way that he would have got voted in.
What the hell though? Why did we go through the impeachment process with Clinton? Because he had an affair.
Because they had proof. Because they had proof and testimony.
Okay, but we got enough proof
Oh, definitely,
that, I mean,
definitely.
there's the fact that he can say whatever he wants about women at any point.
Yes.
I mean, that right there, I feel like if every woman stood up right now and said, or every man too, because men can be sexually harassed. From the first time that dude opened his mouth to say anything nasty about women, I have since felt sexually harassed by that man every day of my of my life. Every time he says something nasty about women, regardless if it's about me or another woman, to me I feel offended. If you were
some of it like I can see it going a little far to.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Billy. If we work together, and I'm having lunch at one table, and you and your friend are at another table, and you're having a talk about sex and this and that about women, even though you don't even think I'm listening, even though that conversation has nothing to do with me, if I find that offensive, all I have to do is go to the HR and say I was sexually harassed because of what I heard.
Oh yeah.
So why can't women stand up everywhere and say they feel sexually harassed by our president? I do. And I feel scared now as a woman because not only do women not even have equal rights in this country. You could try to do that. Like, I really think that if every woman stood up and said, I think we need to sue Trump as a fucking nation. Not even just men can be you could feel sexually harassed by the comments he makes about women. Just because you're a man doesn't mean you have to be okay with it. He could have been talking about your mother or your sister or your grandma. Or anybody. You can still feel sexually harassed as a man. Even if the conversation is about grabbing women's privates. The fact that he's so disrespectful to women. Just that, isn't that scary to think that he runs for our president as no problem saying some of the nasty things he says about women as our president?
I do not excuse anything that man has done because
I don't understand why
he's a douchebag.
Why as a nation we can't sue the shit out of Donald Trump for sexual harassment, because I feel every day that I hear another thing that comes out of his mouth about women or people with disabilities or people with color or any of it, I feel violated. It's disgusting. It makes me even more disgusted to be an American. I am not proud to be an American.
Nicole.
And honestly, I'm sorry.
For a second, realize that what you kind of say, that you should be able to file a complaint on him, and I think you can. You can.
And then that's why we're putting these videos on the
yes.
internet. So that
what if there was a movement having to do with that?
Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe that's what our podcast will start being about, is standing up for our rights as Americans and stop letting our fucking leaders sexually harass us. And then it's it happens on the TV. It happens when girls go to school. It happens when I go to my job. I mean, men in this country do, and it's worse now.
I mean, I've almost sexually harassed you before. And so I know exactly.
I mean, and I'm not saying that, okay, don't get me wrong, there's contexts where I joke and I make jokes and I ha. But when you are on TV and you are addressing our world as our father of our country, pretty much, and that's the kind of shit you say, that's sick.
Well,
I mean, at the time when you're the president, you're
See, you have a little bit, and I'm not saying this. I'm not saying you're that far off. I'm saying you're a tad bit, a little angrier than you probably need to be.
I'm not angry. I'm just.
But no. I'm saying that.
It's there. We have every right to be angry.
You're very close to being right on.
No, I think I have every right to be angry. And if you had a vagina, you would feel angry too. Yeah. If a man looked at you and said that because you might be during your menstrual cycle, so you're being a bitch.
The thing is, here's a great point. If you witness, say Trump says something bad about women or whatever, and I can get offended as a man, obviously, but what happens? And being that as a witness, that's like a witness saying, I witnessed
No, it's
him.
not witness. It's
No,
not.
I witnessed him being disrespectful to women, and in the workplace, if you're just hearing something, you're supposed to report it and be a witness as well. So technically, anyone who is offended for that reason, because I don't know, do I have ever a girl that's a friend? Oh, never. But no, but obviously, you know, you're a girl and that's a friend. Okay, so I'm pissed off about it because that was disrespectful to Nicole here. And then so I'm pissed off.
Or it could be
so that was
disrespectful
offensive
to
me.
your mother.
And you say it's
or your sister.
And my mother and
or
sister.
Or your grandmas.
Everything
or
that.
your
Yeah.
nieces. Or
Yes.
whatever. I'm sorry, but women
You can
in
get
general.
everything.
And it's
You can
not
get
just
everything.
women. He stands up and he says nasty things about people with disabilities and people who are different colors. And people whose religions might not be the
This
norm.
is a potential movement in itself. Now I have an idea for the 420 movement, but I can't say that like I can't do it until I'm actually really ready and have enough connections to do such a thing.
Okay, but that's cool.
But at the
Hopefully
same
by
time,
then we won't even need it soon.
yeah, hopefully.
That's
very
kind of
good.
what I'm banking on when it comes to that.
But had there been no collusion of Russia, and I don't know how much that affected the frickin' elections, but the fact of the matter is, and I do believe Hillary has some guilty frickin' shit, but that doesn't matter. She was still a better president.
That's why I voted for her, because I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
Well, I was scared I was gonna lose my health insurance, and
Yeah.
that's a big fear.
Yeah, definitely. I get that.
That's a big fear for me.
And then the Republicans would be like, I don't want them to take away my guns, so okay, I'm gonna vote Republican and shit like that. And it's like they're not gonna take away your freaking guns. They're gonna do stuff to make sure crazy people don't have
idea of what gun control is, because I look at it like Ed Thomas getting shot. Why did you have a gun in your house knowing that you had a child who has emotional problems?
I saw the other day on a news article that a 3-year-old got a hold of either the boyfriend or husband's gun and shot his mom in the chest. And so it was like right outside in the parking lot or something like that. They were like, someone shot your mother or child or something like that. And so they he had a loaded pistol in the back seat, from my understanding.
That's crazy.
That's pretty freaking accurate. I do remember that story is crazy.
Wow.
I can't remember where
I
was
think
that,
gun
but
control just basically boiled down to the fact that like crazy people, children, and really anybody who isn't stable enough to realize what guns can really do should not have a gun. And they shouldn't have.
Well, we don't have.
There's
obvious reasons for. I mean, we don't even need to get into that, like, because it's pretty, chill.
Well, gun control is pretty straightforward. I like to shoot guns. I think it's fun. At one point in my life would like to own a gun, and I don't see anything wrong with guns.
I was in the military.
But
I liked it.
I think it's stupid when a person who is mentally unstable has such easy access to any kind of weapon. Like